I think I'm ready to go. So, just because I did it, and I'm going to read it for the record. And
Last
for those
on
that,
our intrepid adventures.
that's exactly how it works. So, just a warning for the people at home who may watch this at some point on YouTube or whatever. I am getting over strep throat, I think is probably what I had. So the chances of my voice going out by the end of the session is pretty high because I've been working all day and talking to customers and stuff. So I'm already on the threshold
so you did
of
go to work.
scratchy. Yeah, I went to work. Yeah. So
discipline.
well, I lost a lot of money this week, so I didn't really get a solid shift in. So my paycheck will really suck. So, but
it is what it is.
Regardless of all that, previously on The Curse of Strahd, The Beckoning, Zoltan Mordred III, kidnapped bloodhunter, awakens upon a muddied road in the mysterious land of Barovia. Before him, in the mist and drizzle, is the strange figure of a wood elf from the jungles of Chult named Kinyaa'aanii, who offers him aid. Joined soon after by a celestial-blooded paladin named Lunaris Lanente, this unlikely trio hear the panicked footsteps of Sorceress Jax of Candlekeep and her wearied raven Poe being pursued by a ghastly, necrotic fog. The group flees to the safety of massive gates set in stone walls, and catch their breath for but a moment when, from the sky, falls the Halfling Rogue Grimbald Silentfoot. With a short rest and healing given, the group discovers their only apparent link to one another, as each reveals a tarot card in their possession that promises some ineffable fate. The Old Svalich road leads first to Durst Manor, and there they are tempted by two children and their nursemaid to stay the night, only to find this mansion haunted. And now, the continuation.
That was beautiful. Snaps.
Thank you.
Snaps.
Yeah, for the record, Lunaris
Good job,
was
Gordon
not
Ramsay.
tempted. Lunaris was very not tempted.
Not tempted. Yes, everybody was not tempted. So
What? I was tempted by the food.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I was tempted to get the hell out of here.
Exactly. I love how my first session, like 3 of you basically were trying to railroad me off my plans, which was great. So, but
Mike,
that's
don't you know that I've been doing that for years now?
That is probably that's just your personality. You railroaded me in college. You railroaded. No, I'm just kidding.
Zell, you know each of us well enough to know that this is what we do.
Yeah, I got you in there, and I knew I could get you. You know, and even again, I said to myself, regardless of how things went, I was prepared to just throw some random stuff at you and go off the cuff, and that's probably what today's going to be. We are going to be ending probably about, we said 15, 20 minutes early. So I
don't know what you mean as to 15, 20 minutes, but I have to leave at like 5:45 my time. So
right. So that
okay.
That's because you're Eastern? No, you're.
I'm Central, so
yeah,
Jax might just need to take a nap.
Yeah, and that, no. I think is that. So we have 3. Did you say we have 3 hours? 4 hours? So
basically 3. Now it's 3:45, 4:45. So I have 2 hours.
Okay, fair enough. Yep, that's fine. Okay. I don't have too much planned anyway.
Okay. Okay.
So I will. No, it's fine, and it's not a big deal.
We can just metagame our way through it, and it'll be quick.
No, I didn't want to go too far anyway after today, just because I was sick. I didn't get to plan too much more, regardless. So
okay,
and so yeah, that's no biggie.
Okay.
That being said, of course, I'm sure I showed everybody at some level, but for those at home who don't know, let me just quickly switch my scene here. I spent a lot of time on one particular thing, and I thought I would share it with everybody.
That's a good color.
That's good. I decided to get some help with artificial intelligence art to make the party in a whole tapestry. And so just for those at home who may be interested, this is what ended up getting created the other day, which I really had a fun time making. It'll show up on me. So this is the party according to artificial intelligence, not necessarily myself. So yeah, I thought it turned out pretty neat. I kind of got the little emblem in the back there and stuff like that. So it might not be picture perfect, but Shanna's character was the hardest, and for whatever reason,
she's just wearing pajamas right now. Don't worry about it. This is what she sleeps in.
pretty much. Yeah. So
Those heels are the size of my body. What are you talking about?
there you go. There you go. So yeah, anyway, so I had a lot of fun doing that. But for those who might be interested, I probably won't mess around too much with the photos or anything that we have currently. But it was a fun little project. That's what I had the energy to actually do, was sit in bed and basically use my phone to make artificial intelligence pictures with everybody. And I'm just like fall asleep for a couple hours and wake up and just screw around with it. That's pretty much what I did all week instead of actually do too much more on the campaign itself. So, but yes,
I love it though. I think you did a great job.
Yeah, I think it was fun. It was fun. So last time that we met, the last thing we were doing was going upstairs from the second floor to the third. And yeah, we'll just start off from there, if we will. All right. So, as you climb the red marble staircase to its full height, you suddenly see Rosvalda, for just a brief moment, who wordlessly reaches out to you with concern etched on her face. As soon as you lock eyes with her, however, her form evaporates, as if it were a mirage. You stand upon a dusty balcony. Sorry. You stand upon a dusty balcony with a suit of black plate armor standing against one wall, draped in cobwebs. You can see down the center of the staircase all the way to the bottom floor from here. That center column is actually meant to be like show you like an empty space, basically. A pair of oil lamps are mounted on either side, unlit on either side of the suit of armor. I just want to make sure that I have everybody's lights and stuff like that correct. Jax, you have fire. Lunaris, you have your light. Now, Zoltan and Grimbald, you had a torch or something? Was that? Or a lantern?
I had so, yeah.
I had a lantern, I think I had a lantern.
And I think Kinyaa'aanii,
Do you think you could turn down your music a smidge? It's not ambiance, it's...
Yeah, sorry. I realized that that's probably... I forgot that I have it down half. I have it half,
We're just at a
for
concert.
myself. It's good, it's good.
We're at a
I have
concert.
it for half for myself,
Baby
so...
metal.
There you go. So, I forgot that I did that. So,
Thank you, sir.
no worries. Hopefully that's good. So, who's... I want to know who is where. Now, Zoltan, you said that you're usually in the front, so I put you there.
It looks like right now you have Zoltan followed by
Lunaris, Jax, this is Kinyaa'aanii, and then Grimbald in the back. Or is that...
that
Yeah,
order
works for
seems
me.
fine to me. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Okay. So as you bring your own source of magical light or your normal sources of light, you're welcome to turn on the lamps and everything like that. But before you do, the oak-paneled walls reveal carved woodland scenes of trees, falling leaves, and tiny critters. Becoming more and more aware of the house's nature by now, those peering closer are unsurprised to find grotesque figures hung upon the tree limbs carved into the scenery. Various carrion and worms bursting forth from the ground below, these condemned depictions of men, women, and children upon the walls. Now, everybody please give me a perception check.
Nice.
11 plus 3, 14.
14, perfect.
Nice one.
Ooh, 19.
17.
7.
Shanna's blind.
Jax is in her own head.
There you go, there you go.
Put your glasses on.
17
All right.
total.
So, it doesn't take too much to notice. Jax is basically the only one who's not really aware of it right away, but the rest of you are struck by a change in the atmosphere. The first person to notice it, just because they're kind of looking behind and they're seeing, they have nothing but the backs of everybody else to see, and then down. So it'll be Grimbald who will be the first one to figure everything out. As you reach the balcony, you realize that with every step, the place grows colder and in clear disuse. The lamps and fires here have been clearly extinguished for ages. The highly polished wood paneling on the walls and floors have lost their luster, and they've cracked or rotted with age. Cobwebs and dust appear on all the surfaces and walls as well. Grimbald, you happen to peer down as you are bringing up the rear and discover decades of dust have graced the banister you have just been using for a handhold. Steps you had just climbed show the same, but your footprints don't reveal that you've just climbed them a moment ago. The walls below bleed of color and time itself, becoming no different than the cold and decayed floor that you are only now coming upon. The lights that were lit downstairs die, small plumes of white smoke, and the only sign that they were providing you light and warmth seconds earlier. A chill creeps up as much as down as the house itself seems to shiver with some unholy awareness that all is not well here.
So that's nice.
Yeah, you know, nice
Nice.
and fancy. So this is where you guys are. You just coming
Did
up.
something happen?
Well, I don't think we're going back the way we came. So let's keep trudging because, yeah, I'm going to
Why?
draw
What's wrong?
my swords here.
Okay.
Did we not just come up these stairs?
20 years ago, it would seem.
So you guys have a door here on the left. You have one on the just ahead of you. There's these two lamps here that you guys are welcome to try and turn on. And there's sort of darkness here, but you can tell the hall kind of just continues.
I think we should light the lamps for sure.
Good call.
Agree.
Light them.
You're going to light them there, Zoltan?
Up. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let's light them, please.
Those are some intense cobwebs on the.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're
No,
doing
it's pretty crazy.
All right.
You do see a set of double doors right here, and if you turn the corner, there's also a door that's right here. So, where would you guys like to go? What would you guys like to do? Sorry, I'm just doing that for...
Yep. No, it's good.
Go ahead.
Why don't we start on the left-hand side there,
That's what I was going
right
to
at
do.
the
I was
top of
gonna,
the staircase?
since I'm in the front, I'm going to
systematic.
open up that door on the left and kind of... what did I say I put my light on? Was it my sword?
I believe that's what you had said, yes.
All right, so yeah, I'm going to open the door and sort of like poke my sword in there to illuminate the room. Excuse me.
Out of curiosity, can you guys hear...
Some of your
anything
noise in the
sound-wise?
We
background.
hear like it sounds like rats.
Okay, just making sure. Is it like
Is it supposed
really...
to sound like rats?
Is it really
Wind
soft?
blowing in the distance.
It's quiet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's quiet.
That's not overwhelming or anything?
No.
Well, that's good.
Okay, there we go. I can't hear it hardly at all because I've turned it down for myself because it's just I get distracted by sound. So.
Distract easily.
All right, so as you come in, let me just make sure your light is actually proper here for a second. Yeah. I'll do this just to help me out a bit. I think I have it like maximum load here. Okay, just beyond you see a room that appears just cobweb filled and everything.
So I'll be able to see 20 feet, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Try it.
20-foot radius, and then another dim light for another 20 feet.
See
So
if I can't
40 feet total.
There we go. That's probably a little better.
Yeah, that's perfect.
There we go. So, yeah, let me just quickly bring up my description here.
You may even be able to turn the ambient brightness down slightly. but no, I guess it's alright.
That's all right.
I don't
That should be. I'll try and keep it, framed for myself anyway.
Yeah, we're good.
Dust and cobweb shroud an elegantly appointed room, and there seems to be a door to your right, right away. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit, just for my own, because it's really dark for me. So there's a door here, and there's a pair of double doors out there.
Okay.
Double doors set with panes of stained glass pull open, but they're currently closed. The bedroom contains a large bed, 2 end tables, and an empty wardrobe. Mounted on the wall next to the wardrobe is a mirror. Are you going in? Sorry, I should probably ask that.
I guess I'm more or less gonna stay at the doorway. I can take one step in, but yeah, I didn't want to get too far.
Collect you. There we go. There we go. That's what I was trying to. I was like, where did it put the character? Okay,
It's just enough to where I can see around the edge, pretty much.
Yeah. So your light shines through, and you see quite a large room. You also see a figure that's been turned away. That's turned away from you. Slightly translucent. That looks kind of familiar. It is, in fact, you believe, to be Margaret. Similar to Rosevalda, who kind of dissipated into sort of a mirage, this one is clearly barely holding its physical form. Let's just do this. She looks normal for the most part, but clearly is ghostly in some fashion.
Transparent. Translucent.
Yeah, so from here, that's basically what you can see is kind of a cobweb-filled room. She's just sort of hanging out beside the bed. She doesn't... She's kind of turned away from you, so you don't see anything. She hasn't really reacted to your presence yet. But yeah, what would you like to do?
I'm going to try and talk to her, and with my intent of rolling a persuasion check to tell us what's going on or to help us, why we here.
Okay. Let's see.
Persuasion is my proficiency.
Okay. How does this come off for you? Like, what are you saying?
What was her name again? Rosalina?
Sorry, this is
Rosalda?
the nursemaid Margaret. When you first got to actually, it's mostly Zoltan who saw it, because the first person who gets up to the top of the stairs sees near the other side of the hall was Rosevalda just kind of reaching out for you, and then she disappeared, which is the young girl.
Okay.
This is Margaret, though, the nursemaid that you had met earlier.
Okay. So I guess it would come off. Maid, please, we require aid. Can you please tell us why we're here? And you want me to roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception, or persuasion. Whilst, so obviously Lunaris seems to be talking to somebody. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I think we should not leave Lunaris in there by themselves. So we should at least try and like get closer in, or I should go in, kind of like in front, and just kind of scope out more of the room. Because since there's somebody in there, so I'm going to do that real quick.
Stupid collisions. No matter how many times I've changed that setting,
It just defaults in.
it just defaults back to it. Okay.
My roll also was a 15 plus 5.
Okay. She doesn't seem to hear you or anything like that. How far in do you go, Kiyaa'aaanii?
I'm just gonna go right to the after the threshold of the door, like in, so like kind of like when you go like just kind of just past Lunaris. Yeah, like right there, just to kind of like see if there's any kind of like
Okay. Do you have your weapon out? Just out of curiosity.
I do not have my weapon out because I do not know. Yeah.
That's fine. No worries. This is when the nursemaid turns around. Her face is sunken in. Her hair is like clearly kind of more grayed out, not necessarily by age, but by some unnatural force. She doesn't necessarily make eye contact with you. She sort of more sees through you, Kinyaa'aanii, and she puts a finger to her lips and whispers, "Hush, the baby is sleeping."
Okay.
And sort of looks over to this door, but when she says that, and then she kind of just turns back to, not necessarily completely away. She's sort of like she seems to be almost aware of you, but it's not like you are you. It's like she's just kind of
Okay.
for whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, Lunaris, your words, especially noticing what happens with Kinyaa'aanii, it doesn't seem like they're really reaching her right now. Yeah, they're just passing through her like she's not even necessarily there. You're not.
Okay.
If you want to roll a religion check for me.
Ooh, that is another proficient. Right? Yes. This one. 8 + 1.
Yeah, so yeah, you're not too sure what might be going on. Maybe it's just the situation itself that's sort of odd to you, but yeah, you don't get anything too new. What about Jax or Zoltan or Grimbald? What are you guys doing?
I'm really curious about this door that she's pointed at with the baby.
Okay.
So I kind of want to walk in there against her wishes.
Okay, that's fine.
I want to kind of follow behind him. So
Okay.
I'm gonna stay basically at the door behind everybody.
No,
trying
stay
to
Oh, are
make
you
sure
the baby they were
nobody
talking
is,
about sleeping?
by themselves.
I'll probably stay in the same room too, but of course, I have my two-hander out because the light source. So
It's fine. Yep, no worries.
I'm just
Zoltan,
ready
you
at
still
the
have your
door as
weapons
well.
out?
Yeah, I've still got weapons out. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I don't have mine.
No worries. It's fine. All right. So Jax and particularly Zoltan, who's kind of opening it, this is what you see. In here is clearly a nursery. There is. Sorry, give me a second to read this. I'll make sure I'm not doing it wrong. Yeah, it's a very dusty nursery essentially. There is a bassinet of sorts. This butterfly I didn't even realize was there when I made it, so that doesn't exist, just for the record. But there is like dead flowers and cobwebs all over the place. Yeah, but pretty much nothing of note in here except for that. Are you entering the nursery, Zoltan?
Yeah, I'll enter it and kind of explore the whole room. I'll look for any clues or anything that's going on there.
Okay. Okay. As soon as you enter, you don't notice this, but Jax, out of your corner of your eye, and everybody else who's in the room, this lady disappears.
Bye,
Felicia.
Did you?
I'm just.
Bye, Felicia.
What was
I
that?
love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's an empty bassinet. The blanket looks like it's been kind of pulled off. There's no child inside or anything like that. Yeah.
Is there any dresser or any closet or anything to check out there?
There's this lamp that you're welcome to turn on if you want.
Sure, I'll turn that on and kind of brush away some cobwebs to see if there's anything else hidden away.
Yeah, no, it just appears to be mostly, yeah, you can get rid of them. There's literally nothing else in this room except for the bassinet. The crib.
Okay,
or whatever you wanna
I'll
call it.
inspect the bassinet.
Sure. Yeah, it's it looks like it was really nicely made at one point, but it's clearly decayed over time. Flowers that had been arranged around it are all gone, or like basically, petrified from time. The cloth is worn away. It's all, yeah, quite old, centuries old, maybe, to your knowledge. But yeah, there's nothing else in the room. Just crappy wallpaper that's been peeled off, and frames. Wood is all but lost its luster. Yeah.
Okay. I guess we can move on then if there's nothing in here.
So
You said there were two.
clearly,
Go ahead.
so clearly there's something going on. Feels like a trap.
It's a trap.
So we normally, like the last game, we checked every room, and every room kind of seemed to be the same setup, everything just kind of the same. So I'm kind of curious on if we should do the same method or we should just explore more of the upstairs. If there's another hidden area or something. So it's kind of just
Maybe. Oh, and Margaret disappeared, right?
Margaret's
She's still on
disappeared.
the screen.
Jax and Kinyaa'aanii, you guys happen to notice there's actually a full-length mirror here as well. There's a dresser. This doesn't actually have coals in it. There's a kind of potbelly stove there. The tables look like they're busted and broken, whether from time or from something violent. You couldn't possibly tell from this moment. There is a lamp.
Is there a note on that one table?
This happens to be a book.
Can I see what the book is?
Sure can. Let me see here.
You can probably take Margaret off the screen there.
She's gone. This is
Oh, I can still see Margaret.
I can
screen.
see her. She's on the screen.
Like the
Oh,
image.
yes, sorry, thank you. Yep, I totally forgot about that. I was looking at my screen.
Michael's old, so don't worry
She's
about him.
cute. You can leave her there.
Ooh, that was a nice fade too.
Yeah, there you go. That's basically how it would look when you entered the nursery. She just kind of wisps out. So Jax, you kind of walk up and take a look. So the small table beside the bed holds a cobwebbed copy of a raunchy romance novel on its surface, hidden clumsily beneath a mildewed covered towel. The novel is titled.
The book is
I
decaying.
didn't think that through when I wrote it. So the novel is titled Blue-Blooded Lips. As you're kind of, just going through the, different pages and picking up what it might be, it seems to tell the story of a wealthy duke who enjoys an affair with his female cupbearer.
All right, so there's nothing strange hidden there. Then in that case, can we check out? I'd like to go through the dresser, rifle through the dresser.
Sure. As you turn around and catch what you assumed was your reflection in this mirror, you actually see Margaret mimicking your movements.
Oh, it's like following me almost.
Yeah. So it's you, except like in terms of exactly what you're doing, except it's Margaret just seeming to mimic your movements.
Oh, okay. So I decide to pipe up to the group. Guys, look at this mirror. Do you see what I see? I look like Margaret.
I'll step over next to her there to peer into the mirror as well. And I'll also mention, I wonder if that novel was signifying anything going on in this house or foreshadowing anything.
Definitely possible. Definitely possible.
Post-shadowing, since this is a long time ago.
Zoltan, you do see Margaret, but you don't see Jax. Margaret instead is mimicking your movements. As you peer to look in the mirror, Margaret peers to look right back at you.
So each of us only see one person in the mirror, is that right?
That's correct. So no matter who goes in front, the room is empty. It is just Margaret mimicking whoever's looking.
Jax, can you tell if there's any kind of incantation or anything that's been any spell on this mirror?
I would like to use detect magic.
Sure. Let me just double check what your
Since I just hack and slash and investigate stuff, I don't really know about this kind of thing.
Let me just make sure. You have the ability to cast how many spells?
I don't know.
So you
Isn't
have
detect
2. So
magic?
you've used detect magic once. So you have one
that
more
not a
spell that you
cantrip?
can cast. Nope, it is actually a level 1 spell.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is something that I did forget last time.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to discuss with you privately. I keep forgetting to bring it up. You happen to be a wild mage. Now, the cantrips that you use, the standard in D&D, it's up to kind of the DM's discretion, but I want to make sure to talk it with you before, because I didn't actually talk about it with you before. Anytime you cast a spell of level 1 or greater, you technically are supposed to roll on the wild magic table every time. Some DMs find that that's a little bit too much, and so if you roll a dice and you get like a critical fail or a 1 to 5 or something like that, then that's when you would roll. What would you like to do for your character? Would you like to use wild magic constantly and have the consequences and benefits of that every time you cast a level 1 spell or more? Or do you want to be a bit more like in the critical failure, critical hit kind of areas?
You know what? It's wild magic. I think it'd be kind of fun just to do it. Let's live it up.
That's wild.
That is usually what everybody else says for a character. I just want to make sure that I run by it. From what I understand, that's the way that this wild magic thing works.
No, I'm happy to do that. I think it'll keep things interesting. Sorry if I hurt anybody, but you know.
So yeah,
I'm gonna duck.
well, nothing's happened yet, so you don't know that something like this, that this is the type of sorceress she is yet. But I wanted to make sure that
sorceress too, so it makes sense that, like, you know, I wouldn't have things fully under control yet. So
yeah. So sorry. So are you going to be casting detect magic? Or...
I think I should. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is this the last spell that you have for the day?
Before she needs a rest.
Before we rest. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously she has her cantrips and everything, but this is her. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So what do I need to roll then? Just a D20 or?
Nope. What we'll do is I'll bring up your wild magic surge table.
Okay.
So, yeah, which is really fun for me to look at because I don't do it very often.
Okay.
Let me just quickly.
I accidentally set the entire house on fire, burn it down. We're all out.
Do you
have? Hurt.
Do you have 2 10-sided dice or a double 0-sided dice and a 10-sided dice? So basically 2 10.
Hold on. I know I have at least 1 10-sided dice.
All right. So you'll be rolling basically a D100, which means two 10-sided dice. You have to determine which is the high number, so the 0 to 100 part, and what is the low number, the 0 to 9 on the right, basically. Does that make sense?
Wait, repeat that one more time. My brain did not process. I'm sorry.
For the tens, and the others for the single digits. Right. So 10 through 100 versus 1 through 9.
That's right.
Okay, so I can just roll the same dice twice. Though.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so we'll just do this one for 10 through 100.
Okay.
I got a 10.
Okay.
And then the other one was 0 through
9.
0 through what?
9.
9? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got an 8.
So 18.
Right. All right. So as you kind of get your hands kind of tingled for magic, your eyes start to glow an eerie luminescence to other people, but there is a spark of energy that travels along your face, and suddenly you grow a raven feathered beard upon your face.
Damn.
I knew it.
You don't happen to notice this, but everybody else in the room suddenly sees this quite lovely young woman with a full Merlin beard of black raven wet feathers.
And they're all really attracted to me. I love it.
I'll mutter under my breath to,
Yes.
to everybody else in the room. Well, it's a good thing there's a mirror here. I hope she brought a razor.
Jax, as you're looking at the mirror and Margaret, who is seemingly within, she does not have a feathery beard, but you do notice. Give me a perception check, actually.
I got a 14.
Okay. You do happen to notice, even without the magical sight that you currently have, that the lining of the door, or the mirror, is actually hung up on a door, and there seems to be a gap just behind it. And what you realize that it's actually an opening, that it's a door itself that swivels.
Okay. So, guys, I think this mirror is some kind of door. Do you guys want to open it with me? I don't know if it's heavy or...
Let's open it.
Okay.
Sounds good. As soon as you touch it, the figure of Margaret disappears, and your visage comes back. Jax, you have a raven feathered beard right now, for the record.
My God, what the heck happened to my face?
That's wild, man.
Do you need a knife?
Nice.
Don't worry about it later. This stuff happens sometimes. I'm sorry, guys.
As you peer in with your light, you realize that this is a sort of secreted door of some sort that leads to the next level. You also realize that this panel right here is also another sort of secret door that you kind of missed coming up, just because it was dark and yeah. So
Well, we can either head up this kind of rickety staircase back here, or finish checking out this story and then head up. What are our thoughts on that?
Wait, does this explain what we were trying to do on the level below us, trying to get into that little side chamber?
no, this is a different part of the house. So this stairway here ends. So there obviously is another level above you based on what you remember of the outside of the house. But
Okay.
so this is the final floor for the staircase. This is obviously to the fourth floor.
Oh,
This is the way
goes
you
up.
get up. It's just a secret.
Got it.
It's basically to the attic essentially.
Okie dokie.
So essentially an attic access. Yeah.
So, do we want to go up into attic? I don't know. How many other doors were there in that main area? There was the one from
There's
across. Was there
one.
another one?
Yep. There's double doors here, and then there's a door over there too.
I think there was also more doors in the room that we're in right now.
There is a double door right here as well. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's
Well,
quite
while
a bit
we're here,
of
should we open these up? Take a look.
The double doors?
The
Yeah.
double doors in the room that we are all in, or that half of us are in.
Yeah, I don't want anything coming up behind us when we're up in a vulnerable area.
I'm with you on that one.
All right, Lunaris will take lead on the double doors.
All right. So you open these up and out. What you see is the out of doors. But the out
Okay.
of doors that you come to, this nice balcony,
Is not what we saw
not
when
what
going
you
in.
saw. This essentially is pitch black. There is nothing to be seen. As you peer down, you realize two things as you're peering down. The mist, not necessarily the necrotic fog, but the mists have seemed to follow you here. It has crawled its way up already to the second level. You can't quite see all the way down, but you're also realizing that the exterior of the structure is completely different than what you remember. You realize that the dimensions itself is about half of what you saw. So this used to be a massive home or mansion. It's quite a bit thinner or narrower than it was before. As you kind of look out, actually, I think I can. Yeah, there we go. As you're kind of looking out, even just the walls are much more bare. All the windows are kind of bricked up. You can't quite see out of them or anything like that. But it is almost like you you just left this beautiful mansion that you had come into and find yourself in a pretty much totally different mansion that is quite a bit smaller. It's still really quite nice, but it is not the same place that you remember entering.
I'm more or less gonna tell everyone's like, we're not in the same place we entered. Something happened while we were in that house, and the fog is here. The necrotic
Not in
fog.
Kansas anymore.
No. Sorry, it's just the mist, not the necrotic fog. But the mist makes it virtually impossible to see even down to the first floor now.
Okie
So
dokie.
this is the second floor. Obviously, there's more down below, but
Anyone who wants to see can step outside. Otherwise, we need to barricade this door.
Yeah, I'll step outside with Lunaris and I'll grab one of my extra torches from my bag and light it and toss it as far as I can toss, just to see.
Yeah, sounds good.
If that
That's
helps
not
us
a
at
bad
all.
idea.
You toss it, and as soon as it hits even like about 10 feet away, it just disappears into the darkness. From what you can tell, there is nothing that exists beyond this 5 feet here, 10 feet-ish.
The flame just disappears.
Well,
It literally
it's
just
bad
gets
here,
enveloped
and it's
by
worse out there. So let's go back inside, and I can barricade these doors easily enough.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of broken table bits there and everything like that you can use.
Don't want nothing crawling inside from out there.
Sounds good. Jax, are you taking a raunchy novel and putting in your bag at all? I just want to know if that's disappeared somehow.
I put it back on the table.
Okay. Those who care to search it, it is an empty wardrobe. There's nothing but dust and cobwebs, or clothing that was once there but is completely decayed. Sorry, Jax, you're still kind of in your.
All right. So the biggest thing in here looks like the bed.
Yep.
So I kind of want to put the bed up against the door.
Sure. Yep. No problem. As you do, some of the cobwebs get kind of.
Wait, did the door open inwards or outwards?
It opens inwards.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
So yep, that's a good idea. Yep.
Can we actually rotate that 180 degrees, and then I'll kind of nail it shut?
Like this.
That was only nine. Keep going.
Oh. Like that.
Yeah, just so that I can kind of nail both doors shut there.
Yep. You can probably do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that should definitely be something. And like while we're moving the bed or anything, was there anything in the bed, or is it just a bed?
Just pretty much, yeah. It's some nasty bed sheets that have been, just destroyed over time. Yeah, But for the most part, there's nothing particularly spectacular about the.
Does anyone know what mold smells like by any chance?
Live in
heavy mold
Florida.
smell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's moldy here.
Times that by about 15 right now.
Yeah, it's pretty potent, like rotting
Maybe not the
stuff.
humid, but it's just.
Yeah, it's pretty.
decay.
It's definitely
Mold.
humid here. Yeah, it's like the mists and everything of Barovia definitely sort of. It almost like it's not that it's just like damp. It's cold. Like you're almost perpetually cold at some level.
This is so miserable.
It is a miserable place in general right now. It's not in any way friendly or kind. Just in its natural state, sort of thing. So you think of like the worst version of like dreary London kind of thing. But yeah.
Did we check that wardrobe? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I kind of just quickly said, those who do check it, there's nothing inside, but yeah.
Okay.
Mildewed, kind of musky. And yeah.
Nothing.
I don't remember if I actually I thought I had put a lantern in here, but apparently I didn't. There's supposed to be one, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
We believe you.
All right, everyone. I don't know what's going on, but we're not in the land of the living, from what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
This, for now, since we have it barricaded, is our temporary base of operations. We can fall back to here if we do need recovery or rest or anything.
Sounds good.
How's that sound?
What should we do next, though?
Let's
We need to
keep
get
our
out of
search
here.
going here. Let's keep systematically going through each of the doors on this story.
Okay, let's do it.
Lunaris, did you want to lead or do you want me to?
I'm worried about what's upstairs. I'm wondering if we should move the dresser in front of that mirror just for the time being.
Sure, we can do that. Yep.
Otherwise, anyone with a light source, I'd be more than happy to lead.
No problem. It is quite heavy, but because it's kind of decayed and everything, it's not too hard for two of you to kind of shuffle it over and barricade.
And then when
area.
we're ready, we'll go up.
You do you remember that there is a panel here that does function as a door as well? So just
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can just keep that there then. Yeah. That mirror's a little fishy anyway, so blocking it was good. This is our base of operations. I want it to be comfy for now.
Cool. All right. Where would you like to go, if anywhere?
Yeah, go for it, Ian. Zoltan.
Okay, yeah, I can lead then, and straight down the hall to the next rooms or something.
Right here.
There's one right to our
Oh,
left.
Let's check that one out.
Sure. All right. Grimbald, you've been kind of hanging out in the hall here.
Yep. Basically standing right there, watching.
Making sure.
Has he heard anything from downstairs, or
Hasn't heard anything except for the house. The house has clearly changed. You know, like what you're hearing right now is kind of what you're hearing. There's drips. There's just an overwhelming sense of disuse and unease in the atmosphere. You think you hear rats or something in the walls once in a while. The creaking of the house just being old. It's kind of like you're in a. If it was wood and just wood, you would be kind of scared for the structure of it because it just sounds like it's basically wanting to fall apart. But because there's stone walls obviously behind the wood and everything like that, it just sounds very eerie, and it's kind of disheartening to have such a poor, like the house that you entered was so nice, like in every possible way. This is so dismal in almost every possible sensory way compared to that. So
that's great.
Yeah. Zoltan, as you open this, dusty shelves line the walls of this room. A few of the shelves have some folded sheets and blankets that kind of haven't disintegrated over time or anything like that, mainly because they had been properly cared for and put up. There's some old bars of soap on the thing there. There's a broom that's covered in cobwebs. I don't know if you can, right here.
I'll grab one bar of soap and toss Jax, and I'll say, "Hey, you need an extra one of these for your beard now."
That's fucking rude. That's fucking rude.
Jax, as you kind of get near some of the cobwebs here, and just Zoltan opening the door kind of shoots up a plume of dust in your face, and you can't help but achoo! And as you sneeze, all the feathers burst off your face and just go flying everywhere, and you no longer have a beard.
Thank God.
I'll take that soap back, thank you.
So good. It's so good.
No, I'm keeping it. You gave it to me.
Okay.
I need to clean off from the necrotic fog chasing me earlier anyway.
Add a bar of soap to your inventory.
pretty much. You guys, if you wanted to have a bar of soap, yeah. But yeah,
So
otherwise...
Nothing really of note in there.
Yeah, just so like I said, some of the blankets look like they could be used if you guys need a blanket or something like that. Like if you guys are still kind of drip drawing off from your miserable walk here kind of thing. So it is something to keep in mind, basically. But yeah, nothing else of really note. But yeah. Do you go inside, or are you just kind of chilling there?
Nope, I'm just going to keep going if I don't seem too interested in what's going on there.
Okay. You guys coming out of the room or staying in here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the staircase and sort of does it look like You said it didn't look like we came up that specific staircase. Does
Yeah,
it
it
look
looks-
safe?
I mean, it's safe. It's it's still marble, but it's just
Alright.
covered. It's just covered. This right here is wide open, so you can, as you look down, you can just see straight down to the bottom floor from inside here. It's just
Okay.
very dark, essentially. But yeah,
And was that just a spiral staircase, or was that was the second floor below us? I don't
so
quite
yeah,
remember.
so the second floor. So yeah, so you're on the third floor. The spiral staircase goes down to the second, and then it goes down again. But in the center, there's just a
Right.
railing instead of this beam
Okay.
there. I couldn't find one that had.
And
no
it's more or
beams.
less the same thing what we saw, but just in the worst condition now.
Yeah, the lights and everything that were downstairs originally, completely,
Okay.
gone out. From what you can tell, this house has changed in every aspect to some kind of stagnant version of its previous illusory, necromantic kind of sense. Speaking of which, Jax, you still have the site, magic site. As the Zoltan kind of comes over here, you happen to peer in and see that this broom is actually magical.
Ooh, okay. Guys, we have a magic broom.
That'll help in cleaning up these cobwebs all through the house.
I'm gonna go in and grab the broom.
All right. Please roll initiative.
Aww.
I got
Leave
a
me
10.
be.
I want things to be interesting. Come on. Chaos.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your alignment on your character? Because it feels chaotic.
Anything shiny gets touched.
That's a good question. What is your alignment? I think she's probably It's,
I don't remember. I think I was.
you're lawful neutral. I think.
Yeah. But I'm young, so
Now, Michael, remind me of this. This is add your dex to your roll. Is that right for initiative?
Yeah. So if you look at your character sheet, initiative is got a plus something next to your armor class in the top bar. Not the top bar itself, but just underneath the proficiency bonus. There's a little block there. So those who are using the digital character sheet, you can just click that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just roll a d20 and then add your initiative.
Hold on.
bonus.
Wait. Where is it? Sorry.
So you see your stats, whatever. The
Like
fixer-
strength, dexterity. Yeah.
So then there's
Okay.
proficiency bonus, and then underneath that is the initiative.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, okay. So I actually got 11 then.
Perfect.
18.
Okay.
I think
16.
okay.
If you wish per.
Did I do the right one? Oh no, there it is. Wrong one.
13.
No, my 13 was wrong.
Sorry, yeah. And Kinyaa'aanii got 4. Oh, no, sorry, that's percent.
Well, my 13 was right.
Nice. Did you find that, Adam, on your sheet?
Initiative.
Yeah, it should be right next to your
Oh,
armor class.
Passive initiative?
Nope.
No.
So look at strength, your strength score. You see that? And then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over, and then 1 down. There's initiative there with a plus 3. Yeah,
Gotcha.
just click that.
Hey!
There you
I got a
go.
10, but I got a bonus 2, though. No, sorry. Proficiency.
So you got a
is
7
2.
plus 3, yeah. So you got a 10
yeah.
altogether. All right.
Okay, cool.
Jax, you said you had 11? Is that right?
Sorry, my mic didn't pick me up, I guess.
It was 11, sorry? Yes?
Yes, yeah, 11.
And Lunaris, you got what?
16.
All right. This is a time when getting a good initiative is ironically bad.
Really? Lovely.
because it's technically surprise round. If the broom happened to have gone first, and all of you would be able to react essentially, but because it's sort of biding its time, Jax,
What are you talking about?
as you go to grab onto the broom, suddenly it comes flying straight at you, and basically turns sideways and shoves you out the door. You happen to be
That's
close enough that it's clearly attempting to throw you over this balcony.
Oh, love that for me.
Yeah, it's a good time, right? So it's
You're
essentially gonna
talking
be
about the brooms biding its time. What the heck is this?
So I will go ahead and oh my god, it's actually got a pretty good attack.
No
Let's see
way.
here.
The broom's
What
gonna
is your
kill us
what
all.
is your armor class?
Uh-oh.
This is
11?
not good. That's
Okay.
like the.
So
Lovely.
it doesn't do any damage. However, it chooses an action called a what's it called? Shove action. So
Oh.
to shove, using the attack action, you can make a special melee attack to shove a creature. If you're able to make multiple attacks with the attack action, this attack replaces one of them. The target of your shove must be no more than one size larger than you, and it must be within your reach. Okay, so I apologize. I misunderstood how this works. So I'm going to just use this roll for the record as a 9. Give me either a strength athletics, basically an athletics roll, or an acrobatics roll. So it's basically
More
contested.
athletics.
Yeah. So whichever one's higher. Basically, are you trying to strong arm this thing from stopping you? Because if you fail, you know without a doubt that your ass is tipping over and falling 3 stories.
For me. So I rolled a 15 and my acrobatics is +1, so 16.
Perfect. That's great. You so you did acrobatics. So you managed to kind of rear up, and it just as a standard, you managed to grab the broom and sort of strong arm it still. However, it gets 2 attacks. So
Love that for me.
it attempts to do it again.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see here. I think I just need to do. I want to make sure it doesn't actually have a proper. Yeah, okay, so
So
that's
am I gonna need to roll again as well then?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you will have to roll. All you need to beat is a 7. So
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I got an 8 + 1 is 9.
oh, you're so.
Oh, that was so close.
And our party grows smaller.
This one is you're both kind of clumsy in your attempts. It kind of pokes you in the ribs, but you just happen to like go kind of, and it sort of slides to the side. It's still technically right here, and you are right here. But yeah, you managed to kind of dodge out of the way or kind of move it out of the way, and it doesn't seem to succeed. Top of the round now will be Zoltan.
Well, I already have my 2 scimitars drawn, so I'll move to within. Am I within 5 feet there?
Yeah, I'll
guess
say that you're able to kind of
Diagonally in one. Okay.
yeah, essentially.
I'll kind of swing both scimitars at him because I've got two weapon fighting. So let's do that.
Chop up the beach.
One is a 13.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll the other immediately?
Yeah. Yep.
And an 8.
Okay. This thing is quite deft and agile from what you can tell, and it's a broom, so even though you kind of hack at it, it kind of like dodges very deftly, and neither of your attacks seem to hit it.
Okay.
It even does this like little flourish, at kind of seeming to taunt you as it kind of spins in the air and then kind of comes down and kind of wiggles.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Top of the round
Dancing
is
for you.
Lunaris. Lunaris, you see a broom attacking your friends. Or your new friends, anyway.
All right, I'm just looking up something real quick.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, I messed up, Michael.
Did you?
Well, it wouldn't have changed anything, but you don't use your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus attack.
That's correct. Yeah.
So,
I didn't even see you do damage for some reason.
I didn't do damage.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just reading the 2-weapon fighting.
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna like rush up to Jax and I'm gonna try and grapple the broomstick off of her.
Sounds good. All right. So you make a attack action.
With strength. Grapple check instead of an attack roll. Strength check.
Using at least one free hand, you try to seize the target by making a grapple check. Strength athletics contested by the target's strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics. Okay. Go ahead.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
12 plus 2. Because I add my strength, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so 14 total.
Sorry, I was just looking to see if this actually has a... okay, so it is 15, just making sure. Or sorry, plus 5. Ooh, yeah. It rolled a 17 plus 5, so it definitely does the exact same thing, kind of dodges out of the way for a second, like swings back and then does a little flourish, spins kind of straight up and then down and kind of wiggles back and forth.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. Top of the round is going to be Grimbald. You see a broom. Yeah.
I
Fucking
take
around with
out my
friends.
bow and I fire an arrow at it.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Hope you have good aim.
Good luck.
Ooh.
20.
Nice.
Nicely done. Yeah, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll
Natural
damage.
20 or 20 total?
I think it's 20 total. Yeah, 20 total. He rolled a 17.
That's 6 total.
Nice. Good job. Yeah, so an arrow kind of thunks just in the shaft, kind of just mid through the battle here, and it kind of like sort of bends to the side and sees you, and kind of twists left and right. The arrow kind of making it almost like a weird. No, you just did not. It's still standing, however, so clearly it's splintered and got an arrow through its shaft, but yeah, now it looks like it has like weird arms if it kind of so yeah, actually it does this literally. Okay, perfect. I believe it's Kinyaa'aanii's turn.
All right. So let's see, where am I at?
Oh, sorry, no, it is Jack's turn. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
She had 11. You had 10.
Okay. Is there anything I can use to like set this freaking broom on fire?
You can use your cantrip, produce flame.
Just absolutely destroy it.
It would be effective.
Who needs wild magic to burn down the house?
Yeah, I want to set the broom on fire. I want to use produce
Sounds
flame.
good. Yep, sounds good. So a flickering flame appears in your hand, purple, I assume. The flame remains there for the duration that you want it to, which is 10 minutes. Sheds more light as you basically kind of had it in your hand this whole time, lighting the way anyway. You just keep on recasting it essentially to keep it going. Let's see. You can also attack with a flame, although doing so ends the spell. When you cast the spell, or as an action on a later turn, you can hurl the flame at a creature within 30 feet of you. Make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, does 1d to 8. So yeah, go ahead and give me a spell attack, which for your produce flame would be +4 to your 1d20.
Okay.
Efficiency
I
bonus.
rolled a 19, so 20, 21, 22, 23.
Nice. All right.
Get up.
Go ahead and roll a d8.
A D8. Hold on, I gotta grab one out.
Now, the question that I have is,
That's a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The question you have is it weak against fire?
Okay, that's an
yeah, I was wondering if it was.
I rolled a 7.
All right. Yeah. It clearly gets scorched. The feathers on the arrow that is sticking out kind of go up in flames just by fiat. It's still standing, but it definitely like reels in what you can only imagine as pain if brooms can feel pain. It's definitely freaked out by your fire, but it is still standing. Now it is Kinyaa'aanii's turn.
All right. So,
Piggy's still in the other room.
That's true. Yeah.
yeah.
It's not
so,
far.
So yeah, I need to come out of the room.
You can
I
be
see the
right
broom.
here and yeah, hit it from there if you want.
Yep, I see the broom, and then I can do so I'm wondering if we do an attack, if it's just like kind of bait, if it's baiting us to use our abilities. So I'm wondering if I should even attack it, because I mean, it's attacking us, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, it's definitely
Mhm.
it definitely
Okay.
appears to be focused right now. Well, it was focused on Jax. It seems to be it was originally a bit more pissed off at Grimbald and was like maybe focused on them, but the fire freaked it out. So yeah. So far as you can tell, it's still after Jax.
Okay, so then I will go ahead and just attack to just kind of follow suit. So I'll just hit the damage.
You'll hit
Oh,
the
okay.
+4 next to your Warhammer if you want, assuming you're using your Warhammer.
+4.
Yeah.
Oh, on the...
So under the actions, and then the your Warhammer should be just there in the main bottom right window.
Oh, yes, yeah, actions.
So then there's
Warhammer
a hit +4. Yep.
A hit +4, yep. So a 9.
All right. Yeah.
5.
Same thing. It is a deft little skinny hunk of a broom, and it just kind of wiggles out of your reach. You just kind of have a weird angle anyway, so you probably wouldn't have hit it that well anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you missed, but it happens to be its turn now, and with a little bit more vigor than before because its ass is singed and got an arrow sticking out of it. It does the exact same thing, attempting
Wait,
to
brooms have
shove.
asses?
That's right. That's right. Attempts to send Jax flying over the railing.
Whoa.
Love that for me, so I gotta roll again.
Yeah, athletics and or acrobatics, please.
14, 15.
All right. First one, it misses like wildly. You kind of like slap it to the
Now that
side.
you're ready for it.
All right. Go ahead and do one more.
Okay. 16, 17.
Nice.
You know, even though
Jeez.
this is you're doing athletics check or acrobatics? Are you
I'm doing
are you do-
acrobatics.
Okay, so you're trying to dodge. Even though you
Yeah.
kind of managed to spin and miss it the first time, suddenly the stick end flicks much faster than you and pushes you successfully flying over the edge of the
Oh no.
balcony.
no.
I will allow Zoltan, because you have the fastest initiative, if you want to try and do an athletics roll to grab Jax before she falls, I'll allow you to do one.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Let's do... I'm going to say she's over. You basically have to grab her to physically stop her from falling. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds
So
good.
it's athletics. Yeah.
We'll take 15.
Alrighty. That is exactly what you needed to get. So you,
no.
so Jax, you go head over heel. Zoltan being quicker in terms of his speed here. As you start falling, he grabs your foot and manages to grasp on with both hands, You will, of course, have to drop your blades to do this, for the record.
That's
but
fine.
You will be able to grab with both hands and stop her from falling. So you kind of knock your head a little bit in, like, just on the balcony there, but it doesn't really do any damage. It's more like shocking, and you are like hanging upside down. Your robe's maybe open more than you want it to be. But yeah, you're kind of being held suspended by Zoltan, who's it is your turn, but you basically have to spend that turn holding her for this particular moment. So yeah.
So am I just hanging on to her there, or am I not pulling her up?
Yeah, for this sake, we'll say that was your action for that turn to basically prevent her from falling. So yeah, that's what that is. It'll be Lunaris' turn.
All right. This time, I'm going all out with the sword. So I'm gonna walk up and attack with my great sword.
Right. I'm just gonna put Jax over here. Here we go.
We know I'm falling. It's okay.
There we go.
Who are you falling for?
A little precarious. All right,
And you're
Lunaris.
still taller
Apparently,
than
I'm
me while
falling
you're
for a
falling.
broom, so you know.
The broom just swept you off
Sounds
your
about
feet.
right.
Just imagine telling everybody like
Technically,
I fought a broom and I lost.
I fought the broom and the broom won.
Broom won.
I've never liked cleaning, so it makes sense. You know,
Okay.
I grew up pretty privileged. We had people to do that for us.
There you go. There you go.
17
All right.
plus 4.
Wow.
All right.
21.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, you get a good solid hit on it, kind of slashing down at it. Go ahead and roll damage.
86. 6 and 1 plus 2, so 9.
Yep. Yeah, no problem. With a little bit more seriousness, seeing Jax in dire need, a great sword comes cleaving down, chopping the broom straight in half, and it just shudders for a moment before falling in two pieces.
Nice.
GG, can you pull me up now?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that deserves a pipe.
Zoltan, go ahead and give me one more athletics strength check. Anybody wanting to help?
Please.
I'm not that heavy, I swear.
Oh,
it's-
that's bad.
Sorry, is anybody helping? I'm going to say it can't be Lunaris for the record.
Yeah, I more or less am done my turn. So
What was that?
Thank you.
Blues Clues?
I'll help.
Okay, sounds good. You can do this at advantage, so you can do
Thank
one more
goodness.
roll.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh, 4.
Okay.
at least
What was your last one?
0.
0.
Oh yeah, you have strength. I forgot you have negative strength.
That's why I said acrobatics, Michael.
It's got to be
this is
strength. in this
strength. No,
I
it's gotta
know.
be strength.
I got a 9 total.
All right. I'll roll as well. There we go.
And so, unfortunately, because it's mainly
It's the help. right?
so it's called a help action. So just to explain what a help action is, it essentially allows the one person who can do the check, which is Zoltan at this moment because he has a hold of her, try to help him out, and that way it gives him a chance to roll twice to bring her up. Unfortunately, with such low rolls, he didn't have to get that high. Before, even though Grimbald's trying to reach out and grasp onto a part of Jax's robe, Zoltan's just not a particularly strong guy, and unfortunately slips and lets you go.
What the fuck?
Oh, no.
Zoltan! Zoltan!
Why'd you go pick up the broom?
One job! You had one job!
Jax, the way that you fall is kind of head first, and you can go ahead and roll a acrobatics check for me.
Acrobatics? Okay.
Yeah, let's see how
21, baby!
deathly-
21, baby!
All right. You don't fall on your head and die, which is nice.
Thank God.
But you do fall, and it does suck. You do fall 3 stories. The only reason why you don't get as much damage as you could have is because you kind of flail and your arms grasp onto a banister, and you kind of flip a couple of times, landing on your back instead. Let me just see. How much fall damage was this again? I think it's...
the rules on fall damage, it seems kind of weird to me in this game.
It is a little crazy. I'm just going to quickly look it up right quick.
My book.
I'm pretty sure it's blunt damage. I think it's 2d6. It would have been 3d6 if you didn't make your check, so... I'll just do that.
Yeah, this is not going to end well.
It could be okay. You never know.
3 stories.
Let's see.
And damage says... Oh! So, Jax, please roll a death save for me. You are currently at 0 hit points.
I roll a d20 for that?
Yes. So
19.
all right. So Jax lands with a sickening thud. Her body splayed. She is clearly unconscious. Blood seeping slightly from her nose as blunt force trauma seems to take not just the breath away from her, but the life slowly seeping from her.
You had one job, Zoltan.
On the bottom,
You
of
can't
the
talk, you're
first floor.
unconscious.
My raven's talking to you, okay?
So yeah, she's down on the bottom floor.
I'll run down and try to stop some blood from pooling. Try to stabilize her.
All right, sounds good. I won't bother bringing up the first floor just because it's going to be a
that's fine.
to do so. Yeah, so Zoltan, you get down there. Anybody else going? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I'll go down and help.
Yeah, I'll go down there.
Okay. Yeah, so the 3 of you kind of rush down, totally shocked that despite the cleaving of Lunaris's blade and the ending of the broom, it did manage to KO temporarily, at least, if not permanently, for all we know. With one of your teammates. As you guys get there, what you realize, just because I haven't roleplayed it too much, Poe, Jax's raven, screeches constantly, freaking out. Maybe was just kind of on the banister and watches her go over, flies down and is kind of on her body, screeching, panicked, completely distraught that her owner is totally screwed up. Jax, I'm going to send you a private message right quick. All right. Jax, as you hit the floor, darkness envelops you. Moments or eons pass, you couldn't be sure which is which, before you come to yourself. You are in a dark, cold land. You find yourself prone upon a staircase, but different than the one you're vaguely aware that you've just fallen down. Instead of something spiral made of marble, it is made of some unknown pale stone. It ascends straight up and out at a very slight angle into an impossibly misty void. Far above, in a distance beyond the heavens itself, is a single faint blue star. And I will show you, based on AI images, what that looks like.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. You do find yourself clad not in your normal robes, but in a sort of lacy white nightgown. Your hair is wet and soaked from the mist that surrounds you. And this is what that looks like.
Ooh, okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. Pull this up before I go on. A voice from the star far beyond speaks. I can help you if you so desire.
We made it through one closet before someone got hurt.
Okay. So Zoltan, Kinyaa'aanii, and Grimbald, was it? Or Lunaris? I can't remember. Who's all downstairs helping right now?
I'm downstairs.
I'm downstairs.
I am
I'm
also
downstairs.
downstairs.
Okay, so basically everybody
we all-
rushes. Yeah, everybody rushes downstairs, totally, aghast that you have a friend bleeding on the floor right now.
And then
What would you guys like to do?
May I
Lunaris, I
ask a
believe.
question?
Yes.
push button.
So, whenever we have something going on that's outside of the game that everybody else knows, how do we approach that?
Send it to me in a private message. So if I send you something privately, you have to respond privately. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Thank you.
Yep. For the record, I have my laptop using for Discord right now. So if I send you a private message, I'll let you know, and it'll be up on Discord, so nobody else will see this.
You were going to say, "Hey, Lunaris, you better not be asking what I think you're going to ask."
I'm gonna ask you. Have you rested enough for a bit of healing by chance?
So this is what happens. Lunaris kneels down. Lunaris' new friend, nearly dying, used to freaking healing people, just kneels down, and on his on their symbol. The pain, it's too much. I can't heal.
Quite right.
I can't heal her.
Who are you? Where am I? And how can you help me?
I am one who knows much and seeks knowledge of all. I find you interesting, perhaps useful to my aims of understanding all things. Be a companion to me, and I shall help you unlock knowledge, not just of the realms around you, but of the depths within you that you have only an inkling about.
The voice is completely alien, and though it is not hostile, it is almost overwhelming in its sheer power, despite it talking in a distant whisper. Go ahead and give me one more roll, please, for your death save.
Me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I got a 9.
Oh no.
One failure.
Oh.
One success.
Can I attempt to stem some bleeding or?
Sure.
Do
Anybody
something.
else want to try and help with a medicine roll?
Does anybody have proficiency in medicine before I do this?
No,
I do not.
Okay.
I have just
You
a
are on your
+1. I
Okay,
shall help.
well,
Or
Perfect.
+2.
I will. Who is +2? Sorry.
I have a +2.
Okay, you do the rolling.
Okay, I'll do the medicine roll.
And you have advantage because I'm helping.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a 10.
Roll again.
Yep. Go ahead. Oh, you do. Sorry. Go.
7.
Oh my.
Oh, we ain't saving her.
Grimbald, even though, you're kind of, Zoltan's kind of keeping her stable, kind of, trying to, stop any blood, from coming out of her and everything like that. You're both just kind of panicked at the moment. You don't know what you're doing. You don't manage to do anything to stabilize her currently.
Obviously, the prospect of knowledge is quite exciting to one like Jax.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to do?
Say yes or no. Nothing more. Nothing less. Quickly. Choose.
Jax, if you give me one more death saving throw, please.
I got a 15.
Success. I'll wait for your response. I sent you a number.
Okay. Yeah, I saw.
I'll allow the same person or anybody else to do one more roll, but this time you won't get any help out of it because none of you are proficient, so you really don't know what you're doing. So from
I think we should still have Grimbald rolling. He has the best chances with the +2 there.
Yep, sounds good. Good question.
22.
Oh, yes.
Sounds good. Jax, please roll yet another death saving throw, please. Even though Grimbald, you kind of get your wits about you, you kind of figure something out, you prop her head up, you sort of get her breathing. She's started to breathe herself, it seems. There's still quite a lot of blood coming down her nose, and you're not quite sure if she's actually stabilized. In fact,
I got a 7.
okay. You now have 2 failures.
Oh, my
And 2
goodness.
successes. I did reply to you for the record. You feel your body start to sort of convulse. You feel death's hand gripping at you. You're not sure exactly what's going on in the realm you just came from, but you're quite certain that you are currently dying.
Yes.
As soon as you do, the star grows faster, or grows larger and comes towards you down the staircase faster and faster until it's overwhelming you. The presence of it is like painful, just to be in such sheer power. You've never experienced anything like this, but what you realize is that as its pale blue light overwhelms you, it sort of enters you and makes a connection that is extremely intimate. It is beyond description. It's not necessarily pleasure or pain, but it's just like being overwhelmed. And though it's so oppressive and so overwhelming, it is no larger than a pinprick in fabric to your soul. And that's when you start to wake up. And you wake up to the sound of your raven Poe, sort of freaking out, sort of fluttering near you, sort of cawing or crowing or what have you. And as you make eye contact with it, you see within the eyes of your raven this light, pale magic, because your sight is you still have detect magic cast. You see it sort of connect with you, and you realize that whatever has pinpricked you has pinpricked this raven before you as well. And it seems to shudder. It seems to recognize what's happening, but too late, and it ends up becoming still. Its life force before your very eyes seems to dissipate until it's nothing, and it closes its eyes, and it clearly is dead, but only for a moment. Suddenly it breathes once more, and when it opens its eyes, it opens it with 3 instead of 2, a third eye in the center. And though nobody else sees this, you see it glowing with the pale blue light in full, particularly in the center, as it seems to whether it's a raven, the same raven that you had before that's been resurrected, or something that's possessing it. You're not quite sure, but it is clearly magical in nature, and it's it sort of stands upright. It seems very calm, and it stares at you with a coldness that isn't exactly what you remember of Poe.
So my question, I wasn't clear on this before. Can anybody else see that there are 3 eyes, or is it just me?
Yes, so everybody else sees just a regular raven with 3 eyes, but it doesn't glow as...
Okay.
They can't see the glow.
They can't see the glow coming from it.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. So
okay, that's what I was unsure of before.
Yeah.
So
let
okay.
me quickly just show you what that might look like to you.
Oh yes,
not
please. Yes,
everybody
please.
else. But this is what you essentially see.
Very
Yes.
cool.
Yeah. So they see a third eye where that other third, like the on the forehead, looks, but it just looks like a regular raven's eye, just as if it was sort of embedded in the feathers, the very fine feathers on its forehead, but they never noticed it before. But it's clear that it has 3 eyes to everybody now. So. And yeah.
Very cool.
At that, you find your companions rushing down, or having already rushed down. Grimbald and Kinyaa'aanii and Zoltan in particular are trying to revive you. You are extremely injured, but it's sort of like a distant pain at the moment, whether it's just because of the overwhelming nature of what you just experienced, or you just, it's just distant because you're waking up and you're kind of in a near death kind of state.
I did just fall down 3 flights of stairs, so no big deal or anything.
That's right. For whatever reason, your attention is much more captured in this sort of silent sentinel that is your once pet raven Poe, and you get the great sense that your life as you know it has been changed forever.
It's not stressful at all.
I just get rid of our misery.
Michael, are you actually Strahd?
I'm worse than Strahd.
I didn't think to save any of my heals for these situations.
No, you tried to heal me right at the beginning, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Figured we'd have a rest before we got thrown into a different dimension.
Sure.
Do I need to roll another medicine check?
What else can we do?
I will allow you to roll one more.
Misery? Shoot her with an arrow?
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead and roll one more.
$18.
Okay. Jax, as you hear this, you feel colder than you've ever felt in your life. Grimbald, you kind of lift her up, and she coughs and kind of has a bit of a fit, starts to seize a little bit. You're not quite sure what's happening. You're certain that you're helping, like you've kind of stabilized her, you're keeping her still and everything like that, but something else is going on with her from what you can tell. You just have no idea what. The Raven Poe is beside Jax, freaking out, like basically whispering and cawing, and chirping, and can't seem to stop moving at all. In fact, it's almost having a bit of a seizure or a panic attack or something like that. You've never seen a raven do anything like this before. Okay. Go ahead and roll one more death saving throw, just for the
Oh
record.
my goodness.
Oh my god.
14.
Oh.
3 successes before 3 failures.
Oh.
Suddenly, the seizure sort of dissipates. Grimbald, you're able to kind of keep her still. You are now at 0 hit points, but you have succeeded in being stabilized, from what you can tell. Just gonna. We'll put you up at 1 hit point, actually.
So kind of you.
We'll say you're at 1 hit, actually. Jax, you kind of come to, there's blood down your face. Zoltan's been kind of mopping it up as it's kind of been leaking out of you. It's less about any damage to your brain or anything like that, from what you can tell. But something clearly has happened. The thing that you notice first is you turn to look at Poe, who has been freaking out this whole time. Somehow you're aware of what's been happening around you, despite what you've experienced. In your sort of mind's eye, whether it was real or not, the image that you saw seems to descend upon Poe. And whereas you were seizing, now your beloved Raven seems to be seizing, lays on the ground, crows out one last chirp, and seems to go still. When suddenly it breathes again, and everybody sees this time, particularly you, who has the sight of detect magic right now. It's still
I'm not
going.
angry anymore. We're okay.
It breathes. Everybody notices that the Raven blinks several times, seems to calm down, but it blinks with 3 eyes.
I was going to say it's the three-eyed Raven.
Jax, that 3rd eye is glowing with the familiar blue light.
Okay.
You know without a doubt that you are connected to Poe in a way that you've never been before.
Sorceress, what does this mean?
Everybody else sees just suddenly a 3rd eye in the middle of the Raven's head.
They can't tell that it's blue.
But yeah, they don't see what you see.
Do I feel any different with Poe? I know you said I feel more connected than ever, but is there any kind of communication that I'm sensing that wasn't there before, or overall feeling? What?
It's more a certitude that what you had experienced is somehow connected directly to Poe, and Poe is directly connected to you now. More than that, you can't say. You would have to really do some study, but you have an overwhelming sense that your life will never be the same from this moment on.
Okay.
Yeah, so your friends help you up for a moment. You are critically, you're certainly injured, more than you've probably ever been injured in your life. Your back is totally sprained, and it takes you a moment. Every time you move, you still have shocks of pain at what just happened. Your brain wants to ooze out of your nose and your mouth, and ears are kind of slightly bloodied. The impact that you took was incredible. So it does take you a little bit to kind of get moving again. You are stable. You can walk around and stuff now, but yeah, you have 1 hit point. So
rest
Love
time.
that for me.
We need to get some fucking rest. Pardon my French.
Yeah, there was a moldy bed upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Sleep in the bed if you want. Put something on it. I don't care.
We've got there were blankets somewhere.
Yeah, there's blankets.
Do we
in
still
the
have
room.
access to
There are
them?
blankets in your broom closet there. Do you want to go in there again?
Well, I think I would need some help getting up these stairs first. But maybe we could grab the blankets and make some
Well, I
little
can-
makeshift
I
beds and take a
can-
nap.
Help her up the stairs or carry her,
Yep.
whatever needs to happen to.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
why
know.
I
You're
got
not
room.
very strong, Zoltan. You have one job. You
No,
have
but
one
I'm
job.
acrobatic. I
I
can
am
flip you up the
curious,
stairs.
actually.
I'll hold your feet because that's all I can hold.
All right. You guys participate together. You usher her upstairs. Somebody goes into the closet here, grabs some bedding and everything like that. The bed is reasonably sturdy still. It can be laid upon. You kind of throw the dirty, moldy linens and kind of put new ones down. Whatever you have in your backpacks and stuff, you can use as well to kind of set up sort of a makeshift camp here. There are a couple of like little coals and stuff in here that you can easily kind of get caught up and make a fire and everything like that. But yeah, currently you guys are you're essentially one member down. If they get even tapped, they'll go under again. So
Yeah, let's do a rest here. I'll light a fire in the little stove there so that
Good idea.
sounds like
we don't freeze to death in here.
Yeah. See, this is why I wanted a base of operations. It's like you knew something like this was going to happen.
it's almost like you're in a haunted house that's got some fucked up shit trying to kill you.
It happened so much quicker than
This
I
house
thought.
is food bar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. Fubar for sure. All right. Yeah, you guys have had kind of a traumatic moment. It is certainly disturbing what you just experienced. What are you guys doing in terms of this main door? Are you just leaving it open? Are you
Oh, I'm closing it.
okay?
Let's knock that wardrobe over so that it's kind of blocking both
doors.
Sure,
both
that
doors.
sounds good.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess the thing is they would be able to open the door. It would be in the way, but I mean, the door itself is not barricaded because there's
True.
that little gap there.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. You can do what Zoltan has suggested, and it's certainly a reasonable barricade.
Okay.
It
It'll
should
at least stop the thing from spinning too.
Yeah, exactly. You guys can
Alright.
move it over. It'll basically block in anything from these two rooms, and the doors. Shanna's kind of on top of the bed now that it's nailed to the doors, so nothing's really
Yeah.
seeming to come through at any time too fast, and you'll be able to hear. What do you guys? So you guys are going to basically settle down. A long rest takes 8 hours. 6 hours of like basically sleep of some kind, and then 2 hours you can kind of muddy around, study, light work, cook if you want, but nothing too heavy. And after that, you guys get to roll a hit dice to heal, and you also get all your spell slots back, as well as any of special abilities like your rage or your
Lay on hands.
lay on
healing
hands. Yeah, your
Blood malady.
so all that stuff. So that means you have 8 hours to split amongst you for watches and stuff. Kinyaa'aanii, because you're a wood elf, you only need 4 hours compared to the 8 hours of everybody else. So you can essentially take 2 watches, a 4-hour watch, and everybody else can rest during that time, if that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Elves are OP.
They are really powerful in their way.
They're
That's for
pretty
sure.
strong. I almost went with a high elf, but Aasimar would call them.
That's good.
I can take the first watch if need be here.
Yeah, sounds good. So in that case, so Zoltan's taking first watch. Who's taking
Yep.
second?
I'll take second.
Okay, and then Kinyaa'aanii or whoever. If you guys,
I
it
feel
doesn't have
like
to be too
I
strict.
really need to rest, so I should.
Yeah, no,
probably
you
go
rest the
last.
whole time.
You're not even watching. Don't
Okay,
even.
cool.
Yeah, they're basically making they're doting on you at some level here.
There's 4 others that can split up too. We're good.
I'll see if I can cook up one of those mutton chops I cooked up for those guys
Sounds
Sure.
before I
plan.
got kidnapped.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I guess I'll take the last watch.
And I'll give some of this food to everybody, especially for Jax, so she can recover.
Recover.
So
Get
we'll
some
say
food
that
in your belly.
just for argument's sake, a watch is only 1 hour essentially. So we'll say because Kinyaa'aanii can take essentially 4 hours, no problem. You basically just each have to take another hour or two between the three of you.
Okay.
Because Kinyaa'aanii pretty much he basically just has to meditate for 4 hours, which is kind of like a trance type of sleep kind of thing. And then he gets the same benefits of you guys getting 8 hours of sleep. So, yeah.
Nice. Damn.
Yeah. So that is very helpful for sure. Okay. I'm gonna roll some dice because I like rolling dice. Everybody can watch that. Okay. Okay. Zoltan, during your so you kind of cook for everybody and they kind of go off to sleep, and throughout the first watch, you hear somebody descending the stairs from the attic. They don't attempt to get through the dresser. They open the wall on the other end, and then you hear them stop, probably somewhere around the marble staircase, and
Okay.
just stand there for a bit. Do you do anything?
I'll just have I'll put a bolt in my crossbow and kind of sit in the corner with it pointed at the door, and that's all.
After about 5 minutes, you kind of think at first maybe there is nobody there. Maybe they're just it was just in your imagination. When you hear somebody descending the staircase to the second floor, and after a short pause, you hear a grinding sound from below. Give me an intelligence check.
Okay. Ooh, 25.
You recognize the sound instantly.
Wow.
You
Smart.
you are 99.9% sure that that's the secret door in the library that you guys had passed opening, where those tomes, those kind of nefarious sort of books and stuff that you found earlier. That's that door kind of opening, that grinding sound.
Do I hear it shut afterwards or no?
Yes.
Okay. And then do I hear any more footsteps leading anywhere?
Nope, that's all you hear for your hour watch. Nobody else hears this. They're sound asleep, and even those who are kind of like milling about doing their own thing, they don't hear it. Only you.
Okay. I will just tell whoever's on the next watch everything that I heard.
Okay. So Grimbald, I think you were second watch, was it?
I am second watch.
Okay.
So I'll relay all that information to him.
Perfect. Yeah. So you're able to go off to sleep, no problem. Sorry, Shanna, you have how much time?
What do you mean?
20
In
minutes.
terms of 20 minutes left?
Oh, yeah, about 20 minutes.
Just make sure. Okay, I just wanted
I was like, how much time for what?
for recuperating your hit points. No. So yeah, Grimbald.
Yep.
It's only about 10 minutes after Zoltan kind of passes out, a little uneasy. He's kind of, Zoltan, you're kind of having a bit of trouble falling asleep. When up from somewhere in the depths, you hear something. At first, you think it's just a drone, but it slowly reaches something of a crescendo, like a breath wanting to take you. When suddenly chanting that you can't quite make out the words. It's almost like and it just repeats over and over again. It gets to the height of sound that you swear you can make out the words, but your brain just won't make sense of it. You're not sure if it's because it's in a different language. You're not sure if it's just because it seems to be so far away. The walls around you start to get some kind of water vapor that turns to ice, and it covers the ceiling, and there's a drip, one drip of water that drops onto you, and it startles you so bad that you sort of spin around, and as soon as you do, you realize that the sound has stopped. The ice, the frost that was up on the walls is gone. You touch your forehead, there's no water, and everything seems to be back as it was. But it is pretty disturbing to you.
Is Lunaris asleep or awake?
At this point, I'd be asleep.
Probably
Okay.
asleep, yeah.
I would probably wake you up.
Grimbald, what? Is there something going on?
I
Happening.
explain what I saw.
What? Water dripped on your head? You heard some music? Is that... Still kind of half asleep.
I don't know what it was.
It's okay. Go back to sleep. Just kind of rolls over.
Yeah, Lunaris, you kind of look around, it's perfectly fine. Doesn't
Don't
you
even realize that
perceive
you're actually the one on watch.
Did you say you're taking last watch or third
Yeah,
watch?
last watch.
Okay, just make sure. Okay. Yeah, so
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for the most part, you're just kind of uneasy for the rest of your shift sort of thing in the next 20, 30 minutes before you have to get up Kinyaa'aanii, who's basically sitting there kind of zoned out, doing his own thing, apparently. But yeah, he doesn't seem to have perceived anything. Lunaris seems fine. Zoltan's kind of been shifting here and there, maybe having a dream or something like that, but yeah, otherwise. Sorry, I didn't realize you had messaged me. Yeah, Kinyaa'aanii, your 4 hours goes by fine. You seem well rested yourself. Anybody who needs to roll, well, I think nobody else is hurt except for
I think it's just
Jax
me.
and Grimbald. Grimbald's still a little hurt.
Mhm. Oh, is he? Okay. So what do we roll for that? Do we roll a 20?
You roll your hit dice. So whatever your base hit points are, so you would have a D8, I believe. I think,
Okay.
Grimbald, you have a D8 as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So roll a 1D8. Jax, I don't think you have... Oh, you have... So I think you get a +2 as well. And you can add that to your current hit point pool. Whatever you roll.
Okay. So I rolled a 5, and you said I have +2. So I was at a 1, so that's 6. So I would be back at 8 then.
That's right.
Right?
Yep. So you seem to have recovered pretty much completely. You're still very sore and achy and everything like that, and you just kind of put it. You're not easy around this place, that's for sure. But yeah, you seem to be healed up.
How much health did you just get?
I got a 3.
And then you get +1 more, so basically you're up to your full 9 as well. You can
Okay.
change that if you want.
How much health did Shanna get?
7. She rolled a 5 +2.
My goodness, that was a
Yeah,
nice rest.
That was really good.
That'd be
Yeah,
helpful.
So,
I got lucky.
very nice.
Considering all the death rolls that I got earlier, I think it's fair.
I'm not gonna let that happen again. I'm gonna hold on to at least one heal to try and save someone. That was too close. That was too close.
Okay. So anyway, Kinyaa'aanii, you get up and realize that Grimbald was supposed to wake you up, and you see him sitting in a corner, sort of just staring at the wall. He's clearly awake, standing, but he looks like he's in the place of where. Here, I'll even pull it up here. He's essentially right here. He doesn't have his torch on.
Yeah, in fact, like my light would be gone too.
He's basically, yeah, pretty much. Jax's light would be off too. I'll keep this one on just because it's going to be essentially what the fire is producing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of in the place where Margaret, the ghost, essentially was not long ago, doing the exact same thing that Margaret was doing, just looking at the wall.
Okay. So I'm still taking watch, or
You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, you're it's your watch, or it's supposed to be your watch. Clearly, you kind of have an internal clock that tells you, oh yeah, you're rested, you're fine. So yeah, you're just kind of staring at him as he turns. He doesn't look at you. He looks at Jax, who is lying, sleeping heavily, and crawling towards her. And as he gets a little bit more into the light, you realize that Grimbald's face is sunken. His mouth is peeled back to reveal fangs, blood dripping from his mouth. Eyes are black as black can be, back into his head. His hair seems to have been falling out. His hands look like 3 times his length, clawed, and he's slowly inching his way up toward Jax.
So then I want to I would want to attack them to stop them from lurking forward.
How would you like to do this? Do you want to use your hammer? Do you want to use your fists? Do you want to grab them?
Just want to grab. Well, yeah, grab them. I believe to. Maybe I should turn on my light or the light that's in the room, or turn on my light so I can visually see better. And then the other hand, I would grab them to kind of see what's going on.
Okay. As you kind of break contact for a second, you go to grab a light, and suddenly hands are on you, and you spin around to realize that Grimbald is the one grasping you, shaking you, and saying, Kinyaa'aanii, it's your shift. He looks perfectly fine.
Ah, okay. So I'm just envisioning that. Gotcha. So
this disturbs you for only one reason. As an elf, you usually are not susceptible to any sort of like magical kind of. Let me just read the actual description here of your race. Oh, I'm looking at Jax. Sorry. Like, where is that? Anyway, I swear there's something like that. You have advantage on saves against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. You don't need to sleep, but meditate semi-consciously for 4 hours a day. While meditating, you can dream after a fashion. Such dreams are actually mental exercises that have become reflexive through years of practice. After resting in this way, you gain the same benefit as a human does from 8 hours of sleep. It disturbs you because for somebody who's used to not having dreams or being messed with in their mind or anything like that, it is a fairly new experience to you. You're very confident that it wasn't your mind playing tricks on you, that something did happen. But yeah, you're also confident that Grimbald's totally fine. So.
Okay. So I might be, since I'm just taking watch, I'm just not sure what I should be doing besides just watching.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. You're welcome to like do some exercise. Keep your weapon clean, and anything that you might do. Just stoking the fire, make some food if you want, that kind of thing. Yeah, but I mean, there's not much you can do in the area for the most part.
It's pretty cramped.
Yeah, you guys are definitely a little cramped in here. Yeah. So I mean, do you just keep your eye out for the next couple hours, type of thing? And
I think I'm gonna do a little exploring for my for my thing. I'm gonna go out the door, and
Well, I guess we have it barricaded right now.
Oh, we have it barricaded. Yeah.
Can you move it? I guess slip by.
Well,
You're muted again, Michael.
sorry. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I keep hitting it with my hand by accident. Yeah, you're strong enough that you can move it. It is barricaded right now. You would probably wake everybody up by doing so, but
very true.
it wouldn't be too hard for you to like kind of move this and then go out this kind of door. You are a stealthy person, so you could do it, and maybe everybody will fall asleep if you want to try. It's up to you.
No, I won't wake anybody up.
No worries. If that's the case, yeah, you kind of do your own thing for the next couple hours, just making sure everybody's safe and sound. The fire's still stoked and going. You're welcome to make some food or whatever for Lunaris before they wake up or something like that. But yeah. Yeah. So after your 4-hour kind of watch, the last hour comes to Lunaris to finally wake up, who is reasonably well rested, finds himself more than capable of summoning what energy, celestial energy within their bones. Kind of comes back to you. As you do so, you kind of the familiar pain is there. It's getting less. It's more. You're getting more used to it. It's almost like a mind over matter type thing.
Yeah. And I guess naturally I would go check on Jax to see how they were doing, to see if any healing was needed, but appeared to have.
She's deep in her sleep. She seems quite healthy and rested. Yeah, clearly looks like she has a bit of a crusted on blood from running down her nose at one point there. You kind of can softly wipe some of it away or something like that.
Sure, I'll do that.
Tend to her.
Praise Helm, it's a miracle.
As you're kind of just taking care of Jax, about maybe 20 minutes into your shift, you hear the footsteps coming up the hallway. Up the staircase, and the doors, the double doors on the other end of the hall, sound like they open. They sound like they've stayed open, and you kind of hear a argument between a man and a woman. The female voice that you hear first sort of swears, gives a curse to a male voice, saying, "It isn't yours." The voice is cold, feminine, harsh, and the voice that responds is, "It doesn't matter if it's not mine. I'm taking care of him." And it kind of goes back and forth. Very, like, you can't quite catch all of it, but those are the parts that you really kind of hear the most of. You think that there's sort of like accusations of infidelity, or that he just wishes that it was her child or something to that effect. And after about maybe 90 seconds of that, the conversation ends. You hear a door slam and feet descending back down the staircase, and then nothing. Yeah, so beyond that, you guys wake up rested, healthy. Nothing else occurs the rest of the night. And yeah.
When they wake up, I let them know that I heard some of them talking outside about what I heard.
That sounds somewhat similar to what I heard as well a few hours ago, but it was somebody walking downstairs and opening up that kind of library secret door.
Library secret door? That could be something we can look into, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What would you guys like to do with the state of the room? Did you want to move this back, or?
Yeah.
Well, we have to get out, so
Okay.
Yeah, let's move it back and let's keep going.
Yeah, back the way that
I'll
Down the
assume
hall.
everybody kind of puts up their magics again. Whether you're
Lamps.
I'll probably save mine. I don't know if I have an amount of times I can use it, or if it's just unlimited.
you can just summon it and keep on casting it. It's more that it can kind of come and go, and if you don't, yeah, it's not too big of a deal for you.
Crazy.
Yeah,
All right.
cantrips are great that way. well, or spell-like abilities.
I think that's about it. Then I think our time's up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably where we'll have to end for now.